are the group members: Casey Ann Emeterio, Victor Angelo Castro, Lester Franco, Aaron John De Vera, Jen Anthony Tabajen, Reyna Lindul Dulao, and Aaron Bravo.
Have you ever stood by the shore and watched the ocean slowly rise and then slowly retreat? Parang humihinga ang dagat. What if I told you that this quiet, rhythmic motion, this rise and fall of the sea, is actually powerful enough to light cities, to charge your phones, and to power the future? Hello everyone! Today, let's talk about ocean energy, specifically tidal power stations, where the moon, the earth, and the ocean dance together, and somehow we turn that dance into electricity. So what exactly is tidal energy? Tidal energy is the process of harnessing the natural movement of ocean tides and converting it into useful power, mainly electricity. Think of it like this. If the wind energy captures the movement of air, and hydroelectric power captures basically falling water, then tidal power captures the moving of the ocean itself. Hindi natin pinipilit ang dagat, we simply let it move, then we borrow a little bit of its energy. Now let's talk about how tidal power stations actually work. So, the ocean tides rise and fall every day. That movement has kinetic energy, or energy of motion. In tidal power stations, this moving water is directed into pushing turbines, very similar to hydropower dams. As the turbine spins, it turns a generator, and the generator produces electricity. In short, more water, spinning turbine, and then you get electricity. This system is called gravitational hydropower because the movement of the water is caused by gravity, specifically the gravity of the moon. Then now let's move on to why does tides happen? Well, the simple answer is the moon. The moon's gravitational pull creates something called a tidal force. The tidal force causes the earth and its oceans to bulge outward on two sides specifically. One side facing the moon and the other side opposite to the moon. This bulge of water are what we experience as high tides, and when the water moves away from an area, that is low tide. So yes, the ocean isn't just randomly moving, it's responding to the moon's invisible pull, like iron filling responding to a magnet. Then now let's move on to the frequency of tides. Most coastal area, they experience two high tides and then two low tides every lunar day. And now here's an interesting detail. A lunar day is not actually 24 hours. It's 24 hours and 50 minutes. Why? Because habang umiikot ang Earth, gumagalaw din ang Moon sa orbit nito. That's why tides occur, specifically 12 hours and 25 minutes apart. And it takes about 6 hours and 12.5 minutes to go from high tide to low tide. Now the problem is, if the Moon pulls the ocean towards it, why is there also a high tide on the opposite side of the Earth? That's actually a good question. That's where gravity and inertia comes in. On the side of the Earth facing the moon's gravitational pull is strongest because it is closer. This strong pull overcomes inertia, dragging the water towards the moon and forming a tidal bulge. This is called high tide. Parang hinihila ng moon ang tubig papalapit sa kanya. Now, on the opposite side of Earth, the moon's gravity is weaker. Here, inertia dominates, and the Earth itself is being pulled towards the moon more strongly than the water on the far side. So this water gets left behind, creating another bulge. This is called the low high tide. So in simple terms, near side the bulge is where gravity bulges or gravity dominates. Far side bulge is where inertia dominates. Two bulges, two high tides, one moon. And now here is why it matters. Because tides are predictable, reliable, and renewable. Unlike wind or sunlight, we can calculate tides years in advance. that makes tidal energy one of the most stable renewable energy sources we have. Every rise, every fall is an opportunity to generate power. The ocean doesn't get tired, the moon doesn't take breaks, and the gravity never switches off. So, ang ganitong uri ng energy na renewable is very reliable unlike sa mga solar and wind na pabago-bago. So the next time that you look at the ocean, remember, you're not just seeing water. You're watching an interaction between the moon, the earth, and gravity itself. And with the right technology, this quiet interaction can power our world.
We are now done with explaining with working principle of tidal energy, its causes, frequency of tides, and so on and so forth. Now, I will be discussing informations about the largest tidal power stations in the world. So sit back and listen. First is Siwa Lake Tidal Power Station from South Korea, which is 254 megawatts. Ang Siwa Lake Tidal Power Station ang pinakamalaking tidal power station sa buong mundo. Matatagpuan ito sa South Korea at nagsimulang mag-operate noong 2011. Originally, ang Siwa Lake ay ginawang seawall project para sa flood control at irrigation. Pero nagkaroon ng water pollution problem. Kaya ginamit ito bilang tidal power station para mapabuti ang water circulation at makagawa ng renewable energy. Gamit ng steel turbine blades na designed para sa corrosive seawater. Cost and facts. Mas mura kumpara sa ibang tidal projects dahil existing na ang seawall. Nakakatulong ito sa pagbawas ng water pollution sa Siwa Lake. Kaya nitong mag-supply ng electricity sa daan-daang libong households. Well, paano ba ito gumagana? Kapag high tide, pumapasok ang tubig dagat sa lake at dumadaan sa turbines, na nagpapaikot naman sa generator para makagawa ng kuryente. Bukod sa electricity generation, nakakatulong din ito sa environmental improvement ng lake. Second, Rance Tidal Power Station from France, which is 240 megawatts. Ang Rance Tidal Power Station sa France ay isa sa pinakamatanda at pinaka-importanting tidal power stations sa buong mundo. It was commissioned noong 1966 at hanggang ngayon ay operational pa rin. Gumagamit ito ng tidal barrage system, kung saan may dam sa bunganga ng ilog. Kapag high tide, kinokolekta ang tubig sa basin. Kapag low tide, pinapalabas ang tubig para paikutin ang turbines. Ang station na ito ay patunay na ang tidal power ay durable, reliable, kayang mag-provide ng electricity for decades. Proof na tidal power plants can last 50 plus years. Hanggang ngayon, nagbibigay pa rin ito ng power sa libo-libong households sa France. Third is Annapolis Royal Generating Station from Canada, 20 megawatts. Ang Annapolis Royal Generating Station ay matatagpuan sa Canada at nagsimulang mag-operate noong 1984. Ito ay tinayo malapit sa Bay of Fundy, na kilala sa pagkakaroon ng pinakamalaking tidal range sa buong mundo. Mas maliit ang capacity nito kumpara sa Siwa at Rance. Pero mahalaga ang contribution nito sa tidal energy development sa North America. Well, dito naman tayo sa construction and design. Gumagamit ito ng single large turbine. Gawa sa concrete, powerhouse at steel turbine. Designed para kayanin ang extreme tidal forces ng Bay of Fundy. Gumagamit ito ng tidal barrage with a single turbine system. Dahil sa lakas ng tide sa Bay of Fundy, kahit isang Fourth is Maken Tidal Energy Project from United Kingdom, 6 megawatts. Ang Maken ay isang modern tidal power project sa United Kingdom at nagsimula noong 2017. Hindi ito gumagamit ng dam o barrage. Instead, gumagamit ito ng underwater tidal stream turbines na parang wind turbines sa ilalim ng dagat. Construction and design. Gumagamit ito ng underwater tidal stream turbines. Ang turbines ay gawa mula sa high-strength steel at composite materials. Nakakabit ito sa seabed foundations. Parang offshore wind turbines. Advantages ng ganitong system is mas environmentally friendly, hindi hinaharangan ng daloy ng tubig at mas kaunting epekto sa marine life. Ang Maken ay tinuturing future model ng tidal power dahil scalable ito at mas sustainable. Fifth, last but not least, is Jiangxia Tidal Power Station from China, 3.2 megawatts. Ang Jiangxia Tidal Power Station ang unang tidal power station ng China na nagsimulang mag-operate noong 1980. Kahit maliit ang capacity nito, malaki ang role nito sa research, technology testing, at training ng engineers. Ginagamit ito bilang pilot project para pag-aralan ng tidal energy at pagandahin ang future ng tidal power developments sa China. Overall, importance ng tidal power stations. Ang mga tidal power stations na ito ay nagpapakita na ang tidal energy ay renewable at predictable. Mas stable ito kumpara sa wind at solar at may malaking potential sa coastal countries.
Good day everyone! Today, we will discuss tidal energy. Sa lahat ng renewable energy source, ito ang tinuturing na pinaka-reliable pagdating sa predictability. Bakit? Dahil ang tides ay hindi nakadepende sa panahon gaya ng solar at wind. Nakadepende ito sa astronomical cycles ng buwan at araw na alam nating schedule years in advance. Pag-uusapan natin kung paano natin i-convert ang mga giganting pwersa ng karagatan tungo sa kuryente. Dito sa slide na to, linawin natin ang 4 na paraan para makakuha ng energy mula sa dagat. Una, ang tidal stream generator. Ito ang underwater wind turbine. Kinukuha nito ang energy mula sa mabilis na agos ng tubig. Pinakapopular ito dahil modular siya. Ibig sabihin, pwedeng dagdagan ang units depende sa kailangan. Pangalawa ay ang tidal barrage. Isang malaking dam ito na tinatayo sa mga estuaries o bukana ng ilog. Ginagamit nito ang taas ng tubig. Pag high tide, tinatrap ang tubig. Pag low tide, pinapakulon ito para paikutin ang turbine. Mas mataas ang output nito pero mas malaki rin ang cost sa environment. Pangatlo ay ang tidal lagoon. Katulad ng barrage, pero imbes na harangan ang buong ilog, gumagawa lang tayo ng artificial na pader o enclosure sa isang bahagi ng dagat. Mas konti ang epekto nito sa marine life dahil hindi ito pinuputol ang natural na daloy ng tubig sa mga ilog. Pang-apat ay ang dynamic tidal power, isang theoretical design kung saan nagtatayo ng mahabang dam 30 to 50 kilometers mula sa pampang papunta sa malalim na dagat. Haharangan nito ang tidal wave na dumadaloy parallel coast. Gumagawa ng pressure difference. Sobrang laki ng potential power nito pero sobrang mahal din itayo. Ang main principle dito ay ang gravitational interaction ng Earth, Sun, at Moon. Pero sa engineering side, ang pinaka-importanting factor na hinahanap natin ay ang constriction. Ano ba ang constriction? Sa madaling salita, ito ay pagkipot ng daanan ng tubig. Isipin nyo na lang ang isang garden hose, kapag hinayan nyo lang, normal lang ang daloy. Pero pag tinakpan nyo ng dali ang kalahati ng butas, nag-create kayo ng constriction. Biglang bibilis at lalakas ang talsik ng tubig. Gaanon din sa dagat. Kapag ang malawak na tubig ay dumaan sa isang makipon na channel o strait sa pagitan ng mga isla, napipilitan na itong bumilis, yun ang tinatawag na tidal currents. Dito natin nilalagay ang turbine dahil ang mabilis na agos na ikatumbas ng mas mataas na energy. Dahil ang tubig ay 800 times denser kaysa sa hangin, ang design ng blades ay napaka-critical. So kailangan nito ng hydrodynamics. Ang blades ay hugis hydrofoils parang pakpak ng eroplano para ma-maximize ang lift at ma-minimize ang drag. Pangalawa ay ang structural strength. Kailangan ng robust composite materials at matibay na structural design para kayanin ang immense force o matinding pressure mula sa dense na tubig nang hindi nasisira. At ang panglas ay ang cavitation control. Iniiwasan natin ang formation of vapor bubbles dahil sa pressure difference. Pag sumabog ang mga bubbles na ito, nagkukas sila ng pitting o butas-butas sa surface ng blades. Kaya dapat kontrolado ang pressure sa paligid ng turbine. Narito ang mga specific hardware na ginagamit natin sa tidal stream generator. Una ay ang horizontal axis turbine, pinaka-common, parang propeller ng barko o wind turbine. Efficient ito sa mga lugar na direkta at malakas ang agos. Pangalawa ay ang vertical axis turbine. Ang axis niya ay nakatayo. Ang advantage nito ay kaya niyang kumuha ng energy kahit saan galing ang agos nang hindi kailangan i-rotate ang buong turbine. Pangatlo ay ang oscillating hydrofoils. Imbes na umiikot, gumagalaw ito ng up and down, parang buntot ng balyena. Maganda ito sa mga lugar na mababaw kung saan hindi kasya ang malalaking umiikot na blades. Pang-apat ay ang cross-flow turbine. Dito, ang tubig ay dumadaloy across the rotor. Mas simple ang design nito at mas madaling i-maintain dahil pwedeng ilagay ang generator sa itaas ng tubig. Panglima ay ang Venturi ducted device. May shroud o funnel ito sa paligid. Ang duct na ito ay parang accelerator. Pinapwersa nito ang tubig na dumadaan sa turbine nang mas mabilis kaysa sa normal na agos na sa labas. Pang-anim ay ang tidal kite, ang pinaka-high-tech. Ang turbine na nakabit sa isang kite na nakatethered sa seafloor. Lumilipad ito underwater sa figure 8 pattern. Dahil sa mabilis na magalaw ng kite, nagagawa nitong pablisin ang relative speed ng tubig sa turbine. Kaya kahit mabagal ang agos ng dagat, mas marami pa rin siyang kuryenteng nagagawa. To wrap it up, tidal energy is a powerhouse of renewable energy. Its predictability and high energy density make it a vital part of our future power grid. It's not about just our turbines. It's about mastering the physics of the ocean.
Isa sa mga pinaka-importanting technology sa tidal energy is ang tidal stream generator. Ang tidal stream generator ay parang wind turbine, pero nilalagay sa ilalim ng dagat. Sa halip na hangin, ang agos ng tubig ang nagpapaikot sa blades nito. Kapag naman gumalaw ang tubig dagat dahil sa high tide at low tide, umiikot ang blades ng turbine. Ang pag-ikot na ito ay kino-convert ng generator into electrical energy. Madalas or karaniwang nilalagay ang tidal stream generator sa mga lugar na may malakas at tuloy-tuloy na agos ng tubig. Halimbawa nito is tulad ng straits, channels at pagitan ng mga isla. Mas mabigat ang tubig kaysa sa hangin. Kaya kahit hindi masyadong mabilis ang agos, sapat pa rin ang force nito para paikutin ang turbine at gumawa ng kuryente. So, ang isa sa advantage ng tidal stream generator ay hindi ito nangangailangan ng dam or malaking mga structure or building. Dahil nasa ilalim ito ng dagat, hindi nasisira ang tanawin at mas kaunti ang epekto sa coastal areas. So, based on the slide, magandang example dito is, isipin mo na nasa ilog ka at may nilagay ka na water wheel. Kapag tumalang yung tubig, umiikot, syempre yung wheel or yung paddle. Kapag mas malakas ang agos, mas mabilis ang ikot. Ganun din naman pag sa tidal stream generator. Ang agos ng dagat or tubig dagat ang nagpapagalaw sa turbine para gumawa ng electricity. Bukod dito, dahil regular ang tides, alam na natin kung kailan mataas at mababa ang tubig. So, ibig sabihin, predictable ang tidal. Ibig sabihin, mas madaling i-plan kung kailan magkakaroon ng kuryente kumpara sa solar o wind na depende sa panahon. Sa kabuuan, ang tidal stream generator ay isang malinis, renewable at predictable na paraan ng paggawa ng kuryente gamit ang galaw ng tubig dagat. Isa ito sa mga technology na may malaking potential sa future ng renewable energy, lalo na para sa mga bansang napapalibutan ng dagat. Bukod dito, dahil regular ang tides, alam na natin kung kailan mataas at mababa ang tubig. So, ibig sabihin, predictable ang tidal. Ibig sabihin, mas madaling i-plan kung kailan magkakaroon ng kuryente kumpara sa solar o wind na depende sa panahon. Sa kabuuan, ang tidal stream generator ay isang malinis, renewable at predictable na paraan ng paggawa ng kuryente. Now, kung makikita natin sa screen, explain naman natin ang tidal stream generator based on the picture. Sa picture, makikita natin ang maraming vertical structures na nakaayos sa ilalim ng dagat. Ang mga ito ay example ng tidal stream generators at parang mga wind turbines pero naka-install naman ito sa ilalim ng dagat. So, itong mga underwater turbines na nasa pinakailalim ng dagat, mapapansin nyo na ang mga red at yellow blades. Ang mga blades na ito ay ang pinaka-importanting part dahil sila ang umiikot kapag may agos ng tubig. Kapag nag-high tide at nag-low tide, gumagalaw ang tubig dagat at ang galaw na iyon ang nagpapaikot sa blades. Dahil mas mabigat ang tubig kaysa sa hangin, kahit sobrang bilis ng agos, malakas pa rin ang puwersa nito. Kaya kahit mabagal tignan, malaki ang energy na pwedeng makuha mula sa pag-ikot ng blades. So, tingnan naman natin yung vertical support structure ng stream generator. Makikita rin sa illustration ang matataas na poste na nakaangkla sa seabed. Ang function nito ay hawakan at suportahan ang turbine para hindi ito matangay ng malakas na agos na tubig. Importante ang stability dito dahil tuloy-tuloy ang movement ng dagat. Ang poste rin ang nagko-connect sa generator sa ilalim papunta sa mga electrical components na nasa taas o papunta sa shore. So, explain naman natin ang generator at ang power transmission. Kapag umiikot na ang blades, ang mechanical energy ay ipinapasa sa generator na kadalasang nasa loob ng structure. Ang generator ang nagko-convert ng motion into electricity. So, kung makikita sa picture, mapapansin nyo ang mga kable sa seabed. Ang mga cables na ito ang nagdadala ng kuryente mula sa tidal stream generators papunta sa main power system o sa land-based stations. So, next isang surface structures naman. Sa ibabaw ng dagat, makikita ang upper structures o yung parang maliliit na platforms. Ito ay ginagamit para sa maintenance, monitoring, at safety signals. Hindi ito kasing laki ng offshore wind turbines, kaya mas minimal ang visual impact sa dagat. So, bakit nga ba sila nilagay ng ganyan? So, makikita rin na maraming turbines ang magkakatabi or magkakaayos, parang sa wind farm lang din. Ginagawa ito para mas maraming energy ang makolekta sa isang area na may mas malakas na tidal current, tulad ng channels o pagitan ng mga isla. Isang magandang halimbawa is, isipin ninyo na lang na may maraming water wheels sa ilog. Kapag sabay-sabay silang umikot, mas maraming energy ang napoproduce. Ganun din ang nangyayari sa tidal stream generators sa illustration. So, in summary, Ang illustration ay nagpapakita kung paano kinokolekta ang energy mula sa galaw ng tubig dagat gamit ang underwater turbines. Ang blades ang kumukuha ng energy, ang structure ang magbibigay ng stability, at ang cables ang nagdadala ng electricity papunta sa power system. So, ang tidal stream generator ay isang malinis, renewable at predictable na source ng energy at very sustainable lalo na sa mga bansang napapalibutan ng dagat. Ngayon naman, ipapaliwanag natin ang isang example ng tidal stream generator which is ang CGen na makikita natin dito sa slide. The CGen is a type of tidal stream generator that produces electricity using the movement of seawater caused by the tides. Unlike the wind turbines that uses air, CGen uses the strong and predictable flow of ocean water. So, at first glance, mapapansin natin na kakaiba ang itsura ng CGen. Mukha itong mataas na may large vertical tower and two long arms on each side. Ganito ang design nito because it needs to operate underwater where the force of water is much stronger than wind. So, the vertical tower serves as the main support structure. It is fixed firmly to the seabed so that the system remains stable even when the tidal current is very strong. Since tides are continuous and powerful, stability is very important to prevent damage. The two long horizontal arms extended from the tower to keep the system balanced. So, sa dulo ng bawat arm ay may turbine blades. And these blades rotate when water flows during high tides and low tides. The two-arm design allows the CGen to capture more energy and reduce vibration or wobbling. So, kung sa wind turbine, mas okay ang 3 na blades. So, dito, 2 blades lang. Another reason why CGen looks like this is because the turbines are bidirectional. This means they can generate electricity whether the water is flowing forward or backward. Since its tides changes direction, this design helps maximize power generation. You will also notice that the part of the structure is above the water surface. This is very important for maintenance and safety. So engineers can easily access the equipment without using divers, and the turbines can be lifted above the water for repair if needed. So, sa loob naman ng structure, makikita doon ang rotation of the wind turbines na kino-convert ito into electrical energy. The electricity is then transmitted through underwater cables to the shore when it is connected to the power grid. So, to give an example, imagine placing two water wheels on both sides of strong river. When the water flows, both wheels rotate and generate energy at the same time. This is how the CGen works, but on much larger scale and under the sea. So, in conclusion, the CGen tidal stream generator is designed to be strong, stable, and efficient, which explains why it looks tall and wide. Its unique structure allows it to safely and efficiently convert tidal energy into electricity. Ngayon, tignan naman natin ang isa pang diagram. And para mas maintindihan pa natin kung paano napoproduce ang electricity step by step using tidal stream generator. First, at the bottom of the sea, makikita natin ang foundation structure. This is a very heavy base that holds the turbine in place. Kailangan itong mabigat at matibay para hindi gumalaw kahit malakas ang tidal currents. Next is tingnan naman din natin ang rotor blades. These blades are placed underwater at a depth of around 24 meters. When tidal currents flow at a speed between 1 to 4.6 meter per second, tinutulak ng tubig ang blades, causing them to rotate. As the rotor blades rotate, the motion is transferred to the generator located behind the blades. And makikita natin na generator kino-convert nito into mechanical energy papunta rin sa electrical energy. In this example, the turbine can generate up to 1.5 megawatts of electricity. After electricity is generated, it travels through electrical cables laid along the seabed. These underwater cables carry the electricity from the turbine to an onshore substation, which is located at the depth of about 36 to 38 meters from the sea surface. Finally, the substation adjusts the voltage and transfers the electricity to the national power grid, where it can be used by homes, schools, and other industries. So, in short, this diagram shows how energy flows from moving seawater to the turbine, to the generator, and finally, to the electric grid. Ngayon, ang nakikita nyo sa screen ay ang listahan ng mga operational tidal stream generators sa buong mundo as of January 2026. Bago tayo pumunta sa mga numerical calculations, unawain muna natin kung bakit natin kailangan pag-aralan to. Ang tidal energy ay galing sa kinetic energy ng gumagalaw na tubig dagat. Hindi tulad ng solar power na nawawala pagdating ng gabi o wind energy na tumitigil kapag wala ng hangin. Ang tides ay 100% predictable. Dahil sa gravitational pull ng buwan at araw, alam natin kung kailan dadaloy ang tubig at kano ito kalakas. Kaya naman napaka-stable itong source para sa ating power grid. Kung susuriin natin ang table, makikita natin na ang United Kingdom ang kasalukuyang world leader pagdating sa deployment, which is ang Magen project sa Scotland, ang nangunguna na may 6 megawatt capacity na sapat na para bigyan ng kuryente ang libu-libong kabahayan. Mapapansin nyo rin sa listahan ng iba't ibang klase ng teknolohiya or turbine types. Karamihan ay gumagamit ng horizontal axis na parang mga windmills pero nakalubog ito naman sa ilalim ng dagat. Ang tubig ay mas malapot or dense kaysa hangin. Kaya kahit mabagal ang ikot ng mga blades na ito, nakakagawa na sila ng napakalaking kuryente. Meron din tayong tinatawag na tidal kite sa Faroe Island, na parang saranggolang lumalangoy sa ilalim ng tubig, at ang cross-flow system sa South Korea. Ipinapakita nito ng engineering sa likod ng tidal energy ay patuloy na nag-e-evolve para mas lalo maging efficient at matibay laban sa dagat. Ngayon, dumako naman tayo sa pinaka-importanting information para sa ating bansa, which is ang coupled tidal power sa Northern Summer. Alam niyo, Pilipinas ay isa sa archipelagic nation, kaya naman binayaan tayo ng napakaraming straits at makikita ng daan ang tubig sa pagitan ng mga isla. Ang San Bernardino Strait ay isa sa mga pinakamagandang lokasyon sa mundo para sa tidal energy dahil sa bilis ng agos dito. Ang proyektong ito ay pinamumunuan ng San Bernardino Ocean Power Corporation at Inyanga Marine Energy Group. Gagamit sila ng hydro-wing technology na isang horizontal axis turbine na madaling i-maintain sa ilalim ng dagat. Ang capacity nito ay 1 megawatt na magsisilbing game changer para sa mga naninirahan sa Kapul Island. So, bakit nga ba mahalaga? Sa kasalukuyan, ang Kapul Island ay umaasa sa isang 750 kilowatt diesel plant. Ang diesel ay may pahal at kailangan i-transport gamit ang barko. At higit sa lahat, nagbubuga ito ng carbon emissions na masama sa ating kalikasan. Sa pamamagitan ng pagtatayo ng tidal power plant na ito, hindi lang natin pinapapalitan ang maduming enerhiya ng malinis na kuryente, kundi gagawin din nating energy independent ang isang isla. Kapag naging operational na ito, ang Pilipinas ang magiging kauna-unahang bansa sa buong Southeast Asia na gagamit ng ganitong technology, which is ang tidal power plant. Ito ay isang malaking hakbang para sa ating bansa upang ipakita na kaya natin sumabay sa global standards ng green energy. And sa huli, ang tidal energy ay patunay na ang lakas ng ating karagatan ay hindi lang para sa pangingisda, kundi isa ring pagsusi para sa maliwanag at malinis na kinabukasan nating lahat.
Now that we're already done with the turbine stream generator, let's now proceed to the next type of tidal energy, namely the tidal barrage. If you're familiar with hydroelectric dams on rivers, think of a tidal barrage as its coastal cousin. Instead of river flow, we are harnessing the power of the moon and the ocean's tide. So it states here that a tidal barrage is a large dam-like structure built across an estuary or bay to generate electricity from the rise and fall of tide similar to hydroelectric dams but using tidal flow. It traps seawater during high tide, then releases it through turbines as the tide recedes, converting the potential energy of the water height difference into electrical energy. While providing predictable, pollution-free power, barrages have high construction costs and significant, potentially negative environmental impacts on ecosystems, making them complex to implement. So in short, ang tidal barrage ay isang malaking dam-like structure na itinatayo sa mga estuary or kung saan nagtatagpo ang ilog at ang dagat o kaya sa mga bay. Paano ito gumagana? Simple lang ang logic for this. So we have a tidal barrage at the center of two bodies of water. Specifically, we call them the sea or the ocean floor and the bay or basin. So the sea or ocean floor is at the left side and the bay is at the right side. So the logic here is simple. If there's no difference in water or if same ang height, there is no flow of water. With no flow of water, nakasara ang sluice gates or ang gate na nagbubukas-sara once it detects a difference in height of the water. But if the water at the ocean rises or it becomes high tide, the sluice gates immediately opens. Once it opens, the water can now go from ocean to basin or from sea to bay. So through the turbine at the bottom, the blade will begin operating in one direction as well as the rotor or the space where blades are connected. Then generator will operate as well as the gearbox. So these parts will be discussed later. But now let's just focus on the tidal barrage operation. So basically, that happens if high tide sa ocean floor. But the question is, paano naman kung baliktad? If the ocean is low tide, the water will now go from bay to the ocean. This basin acts as reservoir. May harang sa pinakagilid in where the water is stuck inside it. So once it goes from bay to sea, the turbine's blade will now operate in the opposite direction, generating the generator and gearbox. So that's how a tidal barrage works. Sa madaling salita, tinatrap natin ang seawater tuwing high tide. Pagdating naman ng low tide, pakakawalan natin ng tubig through turbines. So for its energy conversion, it is obvious that we are basically converting a potential energy or yung difference sa height ng tubig into electrical energy. We should also consider na kahit na predictable at pollution-free ito, ang mga tidal barrage, kailangan nating aminin na ito ay capital intensive or in Tagalog, sobrang mahal itayo. Bukod doon, malaki rin ang epekto nito sa marine ecosystem. Kaya naman kailangan ng careful planning bago i-implement. As I said earlier, iisa-isahin natin ang parts ng isang tidal barrage. So para gumana ang isang tidal barrage, kailangan nito ng mga specific components. First of all is the turbine blades. So sabi nito, turbine blades captures the kinetic energy of the moving water as it passes through the tunnel rotating the shaft. Ang mga turbine blades ang sumasalo ng kinetic energy mula sa gumagalaw na tubig. Simple lang, ang mga ito ang unang iikot kapag dumaan ang tubig sa tunnel. Next naman is the generator. Generators converts the mechanical energy from the rotating shaft into electrical energy or electricity. Dito nangyayari ang magic na kung saan kino-convert nito ang mechanical energy o yung pag-ikot nga into electricity. So sunod naman ay ang rotor hub. So it is the central part of the turbine to which the blades are attached. Ito naman ang central part kung saan nakakabit ang mga blades mismo. Kumbaga, ito ang puso ng umiikot na parts ng turbine. Next is the gearbox. Gearbox increases the speed of rotation from the blades to a level suitable for the generator. Katulad ng sa wind turbine, mayroon din ng mga tidal turbine. Dahil mabagal lang ang ikot ng tubig sa dagat, kailangan ng gearbox para i-increase ang bilis ng rotation para maging suitable ito para sa generator. So yung gearbox, ito yung nagpapabilis ng ikot ng mismong blade. Susunod ay ang sluice gates. So sluice gates control the flow of water into the basin or high tide and out through the turbines or low tide. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na gate o pintuan na nagkokontrol kung kailan papasok ang tubig. At ito ang nagbubukas sara depende kung low tide o high tide. At panghuli ay ang powerhouse. So powerhouse is a concrete structure that houses the turbine generator set. Wala kasi sa picture pero ang powerhouse ay matibay. Kumbaga ito yung parang housing ng turbine set para hindi masira ng maraming elements na meron ng isang dagat. Now that we're done sa concept ng tidal barrage and parts nito, let's move on to the 3 types of tidal barrage designs. So hindi lang iisa ang paraan ng pag-generate ng kuryente, kundi may 3 main designs ito. Una, ang ebb generation. So this is a type of design na the tidal power is generated as the water leaves a tidal reservoir on the ebb flow tide. And may note dito, ang sabi, an ebb tide is the period between high tide and low tide after high tide and before low tide. So when the sea level falls and water flows away from the shore, moving offshore. So simple lang, dito nakaka-generate lang tayo ng kuryente kapag pabalik na ang tubig sa dagat after high tide. Ito yung tinatawag nating falling tide. Kumbaga, pabagsak na ang tubig o pababa. I-explain naman ito further mamaya. So second is the flood generation. So here, the tidal power is generated as the water enters a tidal reservoir on the incoming flood tide. Kabaliktaran naman ito ng ebb generation. Ang kuryente ay nanggagaling sa papasok na tubig o incoming tide. I-discuss din ito mamaya. And lastly, the two-way generation. So in this design, the tidal power is generated as the water flows in both directions in and out of the reservoir during both the flood and the ebb tides. So sa madaling salita, ito naman ang pinagsama. Ito ang pinaka-ambitious and nakakaproduce tayo ng power habang papasok o flood at habang palabas or ebb ang tubig. Continuous ang production pero mas complex ang design nito. Focus on the first one which is the ebb generation. Sabi dito, during high tide, the sluice gates are open to allow the basin to fill. Once the tide turns and begins to ebb or fall, the gates are closed, trapping the water. When the sea level drops significantly below the basin level, the water is released through turbines to generate electricity. This is the most efficient design among other types, especially for large-scale operation. So, ebb generation is considered the most efficient for large-scale operation and that's why madalas itong gamitin. So, bakit nga ba? Tuwing high tide daw, binubuksan ang mga sluice gates para mapuno ang basin. Kapag puno na, isasara ang gates para matrap ang tubig sa loob. And maghihintay naman tayo hanggang sa bumaba ang sea level sa kabila or sa labas. And kapag malaki na ang difference sa height or head difference, bubuksan na ang turbines. So ang pressure ng tubig na gustong lumabas ang magpapaikot sa turbines natin. Kaya ito ang preferred design kasi mas madaling i-control ang pressure ng tubig kapag pinapakawalan natin ito mula sa basin pabalik sa dagat.
Let's dive on how tidal barrage work. Specifically during the flood generation stage. Isipin nyo ang barrage sa isang higanting pader o dam na nakaharang sa tapat ng dagat. Ang flood dito refers to the incoming tide o yung pagtaas ng tubig dagat. Ang basic principle of operation nito is simple. We use the difference in water level to create power. Kapag nagsisimula ng tumaas ang tide, nagkakaroon tayo ng tinatawag na height difference. Mas mataas ang tubig sa seaside kaysa sa basin side o yung laob ng barrage. And because of gravity, the water naturally wants to push its way in. Habang tumataas ang dagat, we open the gates and let the water flow through the massive underwater turbines. Ang pressure mula sa bigat ng tubig na ito ang nagpapaikot sa turbine blades which then spin a generator para makagawa ng electricity. Para itong reverse ng regular na dam, instead of river, we are using the ocean floods to fill up our reservoir. Ang ganda nito. Instead, that the tides are 100% predictable, hindi gaya ng solar o wind energy na nakadepende sa panahon. Alam na natin ang exactly kung anong oras tataas ang tubig, so we know exactly when we can generate flood power. In short, flood generation is the process of harvesting energy while the basin is being filled up by the rising tide. Once the basin is full, we close the gate to trap the water inside. Preparing for the next phase, which is EBP generation o yung paglabas naman ng tubig, is a clever way to use the moon's gravitational pull to power our home. To keep it simple, two-way generation is like getting a double win from the ocean tides. Instead of generating power only, when the water goes out, we produce electricity during the both flood tide and EBB tide. This is possible because we use specialized valve turbines with the blades that can adjust or rotate, allowing them to spin and generate power regardless of the water direction. It's like a reversible fan or na kahit saan dumaan ang hangin nakakagawa pa rin ng kuryente. The process is a cycle of waiting and flowing. First, as the tide rise, we let the sea flow into the basin through the turbines to get our first round of energy. Pagkatapos, when the basin is full, we close the gates and wait for the tide outside to drop. This create a head difference. Isipin nyo na parang water tank na puno habang ang labas ay tuyo. Kapag binuksan na natin ang gates, the water trap rushes back out to the sea, spinning the turbines again for the second round of generation. The biggest advantage here is consistency. We get the power twice in one tidal cycle, making the energy supply much more stable throughout the day. Although it's more expensive to build kasi mas complex ang turbine, we maximize every drop of moving water, so always remember, two-way generations means capturing the energy of the moon's gravity, whether the ocean is breathing in or out. Let's talk about a world record holder, the Siwal Lake Tidal Power Station in South Korea. This is currently the largest tidal power plant in the world. Originally, the Siwal Lake was an artificial lake built for agriculture, pero nagkaroon ng malaking problema sa water pollution. To fix this, the Korean government decided to integrate a power station into the existing seawall. By allowing the massive tides of the Yellow Sea to flow in and out of the lake, they are not only generated clean water, but also successfully clean the water to the constant circulation. Ang system na ginamit dito is actually one-way flood generation. Ibig sabihin, na-generate lang sila ng kuryente kapag papasok ang high tide mula sa dagat papunta sa lake. They have 10 massive valve turbines that can produce enough electricity to power a city of 500,000 people. During high tide, the water rushes through the turbines, spinning generator. Pagdating naman sa EBB tide o pagbaba ng tubig, they simply open the sluice gate to let the water flow back out to the sea without generating power. In terms of engineering, it's a masterpiece because it solved an environmental issue while providing renewable energy. Kahit na one-way lang siya, the sheer volume of the water in the Yellow Sea make it incredibly powerful. So, the Siwal Lake is a perfect example of hitting the two birds with one stone, cleaning up the environment while hitting our green energy goals. Next, the Larance Tidal Power Station in France. Open way back in 1966, ito ako naunahang industrial-scale tidal power plant sa mundo at naging world leader for almost 45 years bago ito malampasan ng Siwa Lake. It is located at the estuary of Rance River, kung saan napakalaki ng difference sa taas ng tubig, abot hanggang 8 meters ang tidal range. Dahil dito, it's a perfect spot to capture the massive energy of moving ocean. Ang pinaka-cool na feature ng Larance is its use of two-way generation unlike many other plants. It can generate electricity during the both flood tide and the EBB tide. It is used for 24 specialized valve turbines na pwedeng baliktarin ang settings. But wait, there's more. This turbine can also act as a pump. During low demand, they can pump extra water into the basin to save energy for later. Kumbaga, it works like a giant battery that uses whole estuary to store potential energy. Even though it's over 50 years old, it still produces enough electricity to power roughly 20,000 homes every year. It proved to the world na ang tidal power ay hindi lang isang experiment, kundi isang reliable and long-term solution for clean energy. So always remember, Larance as a pioneer station na nagpapatunay na pwedeng-pwede natin gamitin ang gravitational pull ng buwan para mag-on ng ilaw sa ating mga bahay. Jiangxia Tidal Power Station, built in 1980s, is one of the oldest and the largest in the world. Originally, it's a project for land reclamation, but they smartly convert it in a power plant. What makes Jiangxia special, it use two-way generation. Ibig sabihin, takako ito ng kuryente habang pasok ang tide o flood tide at habang palabas din ang tide o EBB tide. Dahil sa bidirectional turbine nito, maximize ang energy production kahit saan man papunta ang tubig sa Yellow Sea. It's a great example on how a decades-old structure can stay relevant and provide clean energy for 1,000 of homes. Annapolis Royal Tidal Generating Station, built in 1984, it was a first of its kind in North America and a pioneer in testing turbines. Ang pinakinik dito, it was built in Bay of Fundy, which has the highest tide in the world. Unlike Larance, Annapolis operated on EBB generation. Pinupuno mo na ang basin, they have generate power only when the water flow back out. Although it was decommissioned recently to protect local fish life, it's remained a legendary project that taught the world so much about on how they handle power of Atlantic Ocean tides.
Now, let's talk about tidal lagoon. What is tidal lagoon? Tidal lagoon is a specific kind of tidal renewable source of energy wherein it is almost similar to the working principle of the tidal barrage, but the only difference is the scale or the coverage. So pagka sinabi nating tidal lagoon, it is a kind of tidal energy renewable source kung saan ginagamit niya pa rin yung concept ng rise and fall of the tides. So ibig sabihin yung rise and falls ng tide. So for simplicity, it is almost similar to the working principle of the tidal barrage, but the only difference is that yun nga, small scale siya. Kung sa tidal barrage, yung, di ba, may high pressure tayo na nasa labas ng mismong basin and then almost empty yung basin natin, nagka-create siya ng pressure difference or yung tinatawag natin na head. So, ganun lang din yung ginagamit na working principle when it comes to the tidal lagoon. Meron tayong high pressure sa labas na nagka-create ng pressure difference kasi nga meron tayong low pressure sa loob, and then magkakaroon yun ng pressure difference pagka pinapasok natin yung tubig, papaikutin nun yung mismong turbine natin or makakapag-create yun ng rotational motion, and then that rotational motion will convert into a form of electrical energy using the generator. Yun yung nagpapatakbo sa generator, yung rotational movement na yun or rotational force na kinikreate ng pagpasok ng tubig. So, yung tidal barrage, malaki siya or naharangan niya yung two islands. So, pwede siyang iano sa dalawang island, And then, siya yung namamagitan dun, harangan niya yung bodies of water almost sa may taas or sa mismong surface. Pero, when it comes to the tidal lagoon, it almost nearly one-fourth or almost halfway lang. Ganun lang yung pwede niyang ma-cover up. So, it means that it covers up a small portion of the coastline. So, hindi niya mako-cover up yung buong coastline. Small portion lang. So, para yung wall kung saan nakakapag-harness siya ng energy or electrical energy to be specific. And then ngayon, pagka yung tidal lagoon, eco-friendly siya, accessible siya, and then meron siyang nakakapag-produce siya or nakakapag-offer siya ng protection when it comes to the vicinity kung saan siya tinayo. So, when it comes to yung accessibility, yung mga marine disruption or yung mga migration or yung pagpasok ng mga shipment from other country or foreign country, yun naman yung tinatawag nating accessibility or kagandahan sa pagtatayo ng tidal lagoon. Kasi nga, hindi niya naman pino-cover up yung buong river or buong coastline. Meaning, pwede makapasok yung mga shipment coming from another country, yung mga in-import nyo sa kanila or yung mga product or services na nanggagaling sa ibang country. And then second one, eco-friendly. So, ibig sabihin nito, hindi siya ganun nakakasira sa kalikasan kasi nga, dynamic tidal power. Dynamic tidal power is a advanced tidal renewable energy source theoretically proposed or defined as a kind of dynamic or pagka sinabi natin dynamic, hindi niya kailangan i-interrupt yung water flow ng sea level or yung mismong water from the sea. Kasi nga, pagka sinabi nating dynamic, either way, kung papunta man yan sa south or papunta sa north yung current or yung movement ng water from the sea, it doesn't matter when it comes to the dynamic tidal power. Kasi nga, in both direction, it can produce electricity. So, meron tong bilateral or bidirectional turbine na ginagamit kung saan nakakapag-harness or nagkikreate ng rotational movement yung mga turbines nito in either way. And then, makakapag-harness to ng electricity coming from the ocean or sea current. And then, the coverage of the structure of the dynamic tidal power is around 30 to 60 kilometers. So, super advanced kind of structure yung dynamic tidal power. Kasi nga, kaya nito ma-cover up yung almost 30 to 60 kilometer wide. And it is perpendicular to the coastline. So, meaning, naka-perpendicular siya or when you pagka tumingin ka dun sa mismong taas nung construction niya, makikita mo yung almost right angle or perpendicular siya sa coastline. Yun lang naman yung sinasabi ng when it comes to the structure or yung pinaka location kung saan mo pwedeng establish yung tinatawag nating dynamic tidal power. And then, yung dynamic tidal power can create continuous electricity or generation of electrical power using the rotational motion of the turbine. Specifically, yung bidirectional turbine na yun. Meaning, in both direction, makakapag-produce siya ng electricity or makakapag-harness siya ng electricity. And then, furthermore, regarding the dynamic tidal power, masasabi natin na mas efficient siya. Kasi nga, kaya niya mag-produce in both direction. However, it is not super or hindi pa siya masyadong nare-realize kung paano ba talaga dapat yung construction when it comes to the dynamic tidal power. But it is a promising kind of insight when it comes to the innovation of technology because dynamic tidal power can offer a lot kind of energy capturing mechanism because it can create energy coming from both direction of the current of the water in the sea. Furthermore, it can convert or it can use both the potential and kinetic energy that produce in the sea. Kaya maganda yung concept or yung mismong outline ng dynamic tidal power. And soon, it will be realized or be constructed in real life example. But it is just like a wide extension of the conventional dump na nakikita natin but cover up a very large scale. Imagine the 30 to 60 kilometer wide. It is several advantages like the creation of the electrical source that can produce in both direction of the sea current. That's very beneficial kind of insight or mechanism when it comes to the tidal generation. And then last, it doesn't need the manipulation of the tidal or the sea level or difference in sea level kasi nga wala namang mga basin or di siya gumagamit ng enclosed basin in order for that to work out to harness electricity. That's the beauty of the dynamic tidal power. Now, let's talk about some of the advantages of the energy renewable source coming from the tide or na nakadepende sa tidal energy. So first one is that reliability and inexhaustible. So meaning lang nito, yung pag-create or paggawa or pag-implement kasi ng tidal energy like mga station, yung mga infrastructure na ginagawa na yan like yung tidal stream, tidal barrage, tidal lagoon, and then yung advanced na dynamic tidal power is that they obey the same working principle which is the rise and fall of the tide na nakadepende naman sa interaction between the gravitational pull of the moon, earth, and the sun. So ngayon, yung mismong relation kasi ng earth and moon is that they create yung tinatawag nga nating rise and fall of the tide kung saan nagkakaroon ng mga like pressure difference kasi nga mas mataas yung magkakaroon ng mga high level of sea when it compares to the inside basin or yung tinatawag natin or characterized by a lower pressure sa loob. So ngayon, yun yung mga advantages niya kasi nga when it comes to the tidal energy source, hindi siya nakadepende sa like sa mga wind, sa yung rays ng sun or yung pinoproduce na energy coming from the sun. Kung hindi, mas nakadepende dun sa yung high tide and low tides usually. So, yun kasing mga tides na yun, nahati nun into two occurring every day. So, ibig sabihin, nag-occur yung rise and fall of the tide twice a day. So, mas reliable siya kasi nasa cycle talaga siya. So, meaning, yung mismong lunar cycle, yun yung ino-obey niya. And then, hindi siya nag-obey sa like, kung maharangan man yung araw, di ka makakapag-harness ng solar energy. Kung mahina yung hangin or sa ibang direction siya nakatutok, possible na ma-lessen yung makukuha or ma-generate ng energy. Pero, when it comes to the tidal energy renewable source, yung pag-create or pagpo-produce ng energy is consistent and continuous. Nasa cycle talaga siya ng Earth and Moon interaction of gravitational pull. And then second one, we have the environmentally friendly. So ano ba ibig sabihin nito? So meaning, yung pag-create ng mga tidal energy renewable source na to is hindi sila nakaka-apekto sa environment kung saan man sila i-construct. And pwede pa sila makatulong, like for example, nape-prevent nila yung mga scenarios like erosion and flooding. Kaya naman, matutawag talaga sila na environmentally friendly infrastructure or mga station or generation site. So, next one we have yun din, meron din itong advantages when it comes to the concept of engineering efficiency, especially when it comes to the maintenance ng tidal energy renewable source. Kasi nga, mas matagal yung interval kung kailan sila pwedeng i-maintenance dahil yung mismong flow of water or yung disruption sa mismong system nila is not that super significant when it compares to the other renewable source like the wind turbine, kung saan nakaka-experience sila ng so much stress coming from the wind, especially pagka yung pag-ikot or yung mismong frontal area kung saan nakatutok yung wind turbine is that hindi siya naka-align sa mismong direction ng wind or pwedeng yung wind is almost sideways when compared or relative to the position of the wind turbine or yung frontal space ng wind turbine. And then pagka sinabi naman natin na yung tidal renewable energy source, hindi siya masyado na-apektuhan yung mismong system niya. That means that in the perspective of engineering efficiency, nakakatulong talaga siya. And then next one, we have the energy density. So yung napoproduce na energy coming from the tidal renewable energy source or mga station is mas malaki yung na-harness nilang energy when it compares to the wind turbine. Kasi nga, sa tidal renewable energy, yung mismo na harness na energy or yung mismong yung water or nag-flow na water is mas dense when compares to the air or pagka kinumpara natin sa density ng hangin, mas matimbang or mas mabigat talaga yung water. So, high density siya, makakapag-produce siya ng more energy kasi nga makakapag-produce siya ng more force or yung force na makakapag-rotate or makakapag-create ng rotational movement sa mga turbines natin. And then therefore, kung mas malakas yung movement na or yung mismong force na sasalpak niya dun sa turbines kung saan dun dumadaan yung water to create a rotational movement, and then therefore the conversion of the electrical energy from the generator will be much higher compared to the wind turbine kasi nga mas dense yung weight ng water when it compared to the air or ikukumpara mo sa hangin. Kaya naman yung energy density na mapoproduce niya is much higher compared to the wind turbine. So yun yung mga advantages niya. Yung advantages na tidal energy renewable source is that yung mga nasabi ko kanina, yung reliability and inaccessible, yung environmentally friendly, and then lastly we have the engineering efficiency. So low maintenance siya, di mo siya kailangan i-maintenance palagi. Usually naglalast siya for decades, mga ganong konsepto. Yun yung mga advantages ng pagkakaroon ng tidal renewable energy source. Now, the disadvantages of the tidal energy renewable source. Ano nga ba yung mga disadvantages ng pagkakabit or pagkakonstruct ng mga tidal energy renewable source na to? So first one, we have the tinatawag nating high initial cost. So, napaka-dali lang na maintindihan ito. Ibig sabihin lang, high initial cost. So, yung mga gagamitin natin, yung mga pyesa, yung ideal construction nito, yung dapat maging safety and then stable yung mismo construction nito. Therefore, the mga equipment and then yung mga criterion in order for the good construction of the tidal energy renewable source will be much higher compared to the wind turbine and yung mga solar panels natin na kailangan mo lang ikabit yung ilang components, kailangan mo lang itaas yung mga or i-attach yun sa specific location and then therefore magiging sufficient na yan. But when it comes to the tidal energy renewable source, kailangan mo pang i-consider yung like yung mga flow of water sa sea and then yung pressure na makikreate nito with interaction to the material of your tidal energy renewable source and then therefore dapat maging matibay yung mga material na yun. Kaya naman, kailangan talaga ng malaking budget or initial cost para maging matagumpay yung pagtatayo ng mga tidal energy renewable source. And then next one, we have the environmental impact. So bakit nga ba nakaka-apekto sa environment yung pagtatayo ng tidal energy renewable source na to? Kasi nga, yung pagtatayo nito is nakakapag-alter ng flow ng water. Like for example, sa sea, nakaka-alter nito yung pag-flow ng water and then therefore makaka-apekto rin to sa mismong environment or ecosystem na nag-exist sa particular location kung saan man tinayo yung tidal energy renewable source or yung mga station na to. And then, next one, we have the intermittent generation. So, ano ibig sabihin nito? While the water coming from the sea or the current na napoproduce ng sea is predictable and then nakabase siya sa gravitational movement or gravitational influence ng moon, hindi siya continuous compared to the solar, for example. Kasi nga, even though meron naman siya yung rise and fall of the tide, meron tayong high tide, meron tayong low tide, nakadepende pa rin siya sa interaction nun. So, ibig sabihin, merong mga times na nasa low tide lang siya, nasa high tide lang siya. Magiging medyo hindi siya continuous na makakapag-gather ng energy kasi nga yung difference in height or yung difference na mapoproduce niya is inconsistent minsan. Dahil minsan may high tide, minsan may low tide. Kailangan pa rin maging mindful tayo sa pag-harness ng energy in that particular situation. As follows, meaning na non-continuous talaga yung mag-produce natin for that specific time interval. Hindi siya yung as in continuous na every day or day and night mag-produce siya ng much electricity. But meron lang siya certain period na kinoconsider. And then, lastly, we have the distance for demand. So, ano ba ibig sabihin ng distance for demand na to? But to naging disadvantages ng tidal energy renewable source. Kasi nga, yung demand ng electricity or kung saan man kailangan i-produce electricity, makapag-supply ng electricity, is very far from the harvesting point or yung kung saan man nag-harvest yung tidal energy renewable source, which is the name itself, malapit sa mga coastline, sa mga areas na may bodies of water na malaki, makakapag-create ng current and then makakapag-harness sila ng energy from that. So, kailangan nilang i-transmit, kailangan nilang magkaroon ng proper distribution facility or plan para ma-distribute nila yan, harness nilang energy. Pero yung city, usually malayo talaga yan sa mga coastline or sa mga seashore. Kaya naman, nagiging disadvantages talaga ito kasi kailangan nila i-produce yung energy na yun
kailangan nilang i-distribute yung energy na eh. Pero malayo yung pinaka-ideal na dapat pag-distributan nun.